Have you ever thought about what it's really like to be close to a narcissist? They are charming, sure of themselves, and magnetic, but they also have a lot of secrets that they will do anything to keep from you. There are 9 sexual secrets that narcissists don't want you to know today. These facts will help you understand why narcissistic relationships can be both exciting and draining. This video will teach you how to protect your heart and take back your power. Whether you're currently involved with a narcissist or just want to learn more about the darker sides of human relationships, wait for it. The curtain is about to come down. Thanks for being here. Before we start, if you're new, click the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any future posts. If this hits home for you, please like it, share it with someone who might need it, and join the talk in the comments. Let's get better together. The point where narcissism and intimacy meet. Narcissists are very good at controlling other people, and this is especially clear in the way they handle sex and relationships. Their behavior in the bedroom or any other private area isn't just about getting pleasure. It's a way for them to get control, approval, and power. Narcissists see closeness as a way to boost their inflated sense of self-importance, rather than a way to connect with others. They use sex a lot to control, command, or get away from their own insecurities. But they desperately try to hide lies from each other behind closed doors, secrets that show how badly their relationships really aren't working. Let's take a closer look at 9 of these secrets. Each one gives us more information about the mental processes that cause selfish behavior, and how these processes affect the emotional, mental, and physical health of their partners. 1. Having sex is about power, not getting close. Nasty people don't usually see sex as a way to connect emotionally or share pleasure. It's actually a calculated act of power, a way for them to show they are in charge and strengthen their superiority. To get what they want, they might use manipulation, pressure, or even guilt trips. This turns intimacy into a transaction instead of a bond. People who want to be in charge may act in subtle ways, such as by sticking to roles or situations that make them feel in charge. It could be more obvious, like forcing their partner to do things they don't want to do in order to spice things up. The goal isn't for both people to be happy, but for one person to feel in charge of the relationship. For their partners, this can feel like a dehumanizing situation. They start to wonder if the narcissist really values them as people, or just sees them as something to use for their own ego. This breaks down trust over time, and makes people feel very disconnected. 2. They use sex to reward and punish people. People know that narcissists often use sex as both a prize and a punishment. People may show their partner a lot of love and physical attention when they feel praised or cared for, as a way to get back at people who have hurt them. Whether it's real or imagined, they pull away from closeness. For instance, if their partner sets limits, tells them they're unhappy, or spends time away from them, the narcissist might react by being rude or sexually rejecting them. This method is meant to make people afraid and obedient by saying, "If you don't do what I want, I'll lose my love." This routine makes their partner walk on eggshells, always trying to please the narcissist to get their approval back. This unhealthy pattern keeps the narcissist in charge, while making their partner feel emotionally drained and unsatisfied. 3. Objectification is a common part of their fantasies. Narcissists' dreams are often about being dominated and seen as an object. For them, having sex isn't about connecting with someone. It's about showing how desirable they are and boosting their inflated sense of self-worth. Their partners may notice that they romanticize certain qualities about them, like how young, pretty, or submissive they are, making them seem like things to admire instead of whole people. This objectification happens in real life as well as in fiction. During sex, narcissists may become fixated on certain body parts or behaviors, ignoring their partner's mental needs or comfort. They might also compare their current partner to ex-lovers, which is a sneaky way to boost their own ego. These behaviors make their partner seem less human, which makes them feel used and unappreciated. 4. They want to feel validated through performance. One of the most telling signs of narcissistic sexuality is a strong need to act. They see sex as more than just an act. It's a chance to show off. They want to feel good about themselves by getting compliments, moans, or statements of awe from their partner. They see these responses as proof that they are irresistible. This need for outside approval comes from a deep-seated sense of fear. Even though narcissists seem confident, their weak egos depend on other people admiring them. In the bedroom, this shows up as a constant need for praise, which can get in the way of real relationship. If their partner doesn't react with enough excitement, the narcissist might get angry, jealous, or even frustrated. Over time, this stress can make their partner feel like they have to act or fake excitement just to keep the peace. As a result, this kind of experience is empty and one-sided, lacking real closeness. 5. Infidelity is common, but it's almost never about love. Narcissists cheat on their partners all the time, and it's not because they fall in love with someone else. They cheat because it feeds their need for approval and new experiences. New victories give them a short-term boost of confidence, making them believe that they are powerful and desirable. The most upsetting thing about this is how narcissists explain their behaviors. They often blame their partner for neglecting them or not meeting their needs, putting the blame on the person they wronged. At the same time, they lessen the harm by saying that cheating is just harmless fun, or a normal way to pass the time when they're bored. For the partner, finding out about betrayal can be life-changing. It breaks their trust and forces them to face the hard truth about how selfish the narcissist really is. But narcissists rarely take responsibility after being caught. Instead, they use more deceptive behavior to avoid getting caught again. 6. With jealousy as a weapon, they test loyalty. Narcissists know how to use jealousy as a weapon because it's a strong feeling. They might openly flirt with other people, send suggestive texts, or drop hints about past relationships to make their partner feel insecure. These acts are not random. They are planned to see how loyal people are and make them more dependent. When their partner responds, whether it's with anger, sadness, or an attempt to get them back, the narcissist sees it as proof that they are loved. They enjoy the drama they make and thrive on it, but they don't feel anything. Their partner is mentally drained from being tested all the time and gets stuck in a cycle of jealousy and reassurance. It hurts your self-esteem and makes you more dependent on others, which makes it harder to get away from a narcissist. 7. They have trouble being vulnerable when they're close. Even when they are close to someone, narcissists have a hard time being vulnerable, even when they act brave. To be truly close to someone, you have to be open, trust them, and be able to let down your guard. For narcissists, who build their identities on keeping up a perfect front, this amount of exposure is terrifying. So instead of making deep emotional connections, they focus on the surface levels of sex. They might try to steer the conversation away from feelings, ignore talks about emotional needs, or end tender times quickly. Avoiding their partner makes a chasm between them and them, leaving their partner wanting a deeper relationship. This lack of openness can make people who are close to a narcissist feel alone. It makes the painful truth even stronger. The narcissist will never be emotionally available, no matter how hard they try. 8. They use fetishes and kinks to gain power. Exploring fetishes and kinks can be a good part of a healthy relationship, but narcissists often use these things to control others. They might push their partner to try activities that fit their fantasies, even if their partner doesn't want to or feels safe doing them. Once they are involved, narcissists use these situations to reinforce their power. They might make fun of their partner's tastes, be very strict, or use private moments as an advantage when they are fighting. This kind of abuse takes away their partner's freedom, making them feel forced and unappreciated. To be truly intimate, both people must agree to be close and accept each other. When someone puts their own wants ahead of everything else, the balance tips dangerously toward abuse. 9. It scares them more than they admit. Narcissists act confident and brave on the outside, but they are really afraid of being rejected, which makes them unable to do anything. They work very hard to give the impression that they are unbeatable, strong, and sure of themselves. But their inner world is much more fragile than it seems. Narcissists depend on acceptance from others to feel good about themselves, which makes them very sensitive to even the smallest slights or signs of disapproval. Because they count on praise and admiration, they are always on guard because they see any change from what they expect as a possible threat to their ego. There is no place where this weakness is more clear than in close relationships, especially when it comes to sex. When it comes to physical closeness, this fear of being rejected often shows up in ways that their partner may feel suffocated or controlled. For instance, if their partner shows signs of independence, like wanting to explore their own wants, setting limits, or just wanting to spend time alone, the narcissist may see these actions as betrayal or abandonment. They see any act of independence as a danger to their power and the illusion of control they have worked hard to create. Their reaction to these kinds of situations can be very different, ranging from pouting and withdrawing emotionally to showing anger or aggression openly. These responses are not random. They are attempts by the person experiencing them to regain control and keep their partner mentally and physically attached to them. Insecure feelings like these are what drive a lot of the manipulative behaviors narcissists use in relationships. By continuously throwing their partner off balance by switching between loving times and cold or hostile ones, they make their partner feel uncertain and reliant on their approval all the time. The narcissist stays at the center of attention because of this interaction, making sure that their needs and wants stay at the center of the relationship. But this fear-based approach to closeness backfires in the end, keeping the narcissist from feeling real connection or emotional depth. Narcissists act out because they are insecure, not because they want to understand or be close to others. This makes it impossible to achieve true connection. Their controlling, possessive, and clingy behavior turns their partner off, which leads to anger and emotional tiredness. Over time, this dysfunctional cycle traps both people. The narcissist stays emotionally alone because they can't face their own fears and weaknesses, and their partner deals with being manipulated and not having their needs met. As a result, the relationship is unstable, based on suspicion, and lacks real connection. This is very different from the deep, meaningful bond that both people probably want on some level. Now tell me why narcissists act this way. Figuring out what caused the problem. There is a deep-seated and pervasive fear of not being good enough at the heart of narcissistic behavior. This fear shapes almost every part of their interactions and relationships. Their acting haughty, their ability to take advantage of others, and their inability to be vulnerable are all symptoms of unaddressed wounds that often start in childhood. A lot of what they go through as a child shapes how they see themselves and the world around them. There are narcissists whose formative years were marked by neglect or mental deprivation. This left them with a deep sense of emptiness and an intense need for approval from others. For others, too much luxury, or being overvalued based on accomplishments, gave them a false sense of self-importance, but not real self-worth. In both cases, these childhood situations teach them that love and praise aren't given freely. They have to earn them through behavior, looks, or manipulation, not by being real and connecting with others. Figuring out these underlying reasons helps you understand why narcissists act the way they do. It helps us understand that their actions aren't always mean or cruel. They're often caused by deep-seated fears and unmet emotional needs. Even though this knowledge can help people understand and empathize with others, it is important to remember that it does not give people permission to behave badly. Narcissists often hurt the people around them because they are always wanting to be in charge, be admired, and be in charge. People like their partners, friends, and family members are often the ones who are manipulated the most, which drains their emotions and makes them doubt their own worth. The hard truth is that narcissists don't change unless they are ready to do a lot of self-reflection and commit to long-term therapy, which is something that very few of them are willing to do. Dealing with their deepest wounds requires them to be humble, open, and ready to take responsibility, all of which go against their deeply ingrained defense mechanisms. Without this dedication to growth, narcissists' patterns of behavior tend to stick around, making their relationships more and more dysfunctional. Being aware is the first step toward healing for people who have been involved with a narcissist. The first step to reclaiming your power and protecting your health is to become aware of the trends that keep happening in the relationship. Truly understanding that you can't fix or save a narcissist is important. Their change is their duty, not yours. To protect your mental and physical health, you should instead focus on setting clear limits. Surround yourself with positive people who will lift you up, and don't be afraid to get professional help if you need it. Therapy can be very helpful for getting over the pain of narcissistic abuse and regaining your sense of self-worth. If you've been through the pain of loving a narcissist, please know that you deserve so much better than what you've been through. Your worth as a person is not based on how much or how little support you get from a narcissist. Being truly happy and fulfilled should never mean giving up your integrity, peace, or sense of self. Be very careful with your energy, and make it a priority to make time for relationships that support and appreciate who you are. At first, setting limits might feel awkward or even make you feel guilty, especially if you're used to putting the narcissist's wants ahead of your own. But keep in mind that setting limits is not a mean or rejecting thing to do. It's a way to protect yourself and show respect. Thanks for coming along with me on this trip of learning and growing. If this video spoke to you or helped you understand a difficult subject better, please like, follow, and share it with someone who could benefit from hearing these points of view. Your participation is very important, whether you're dealing with the effects of a selfish relationship or just want to learn more about how people behave. Leave your thoughts, views, or stories in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and learn about what you've been through. These kinds of talks help us remember that we're not the only ones going through these problems, and that we can get better with help and community. Take care of yourself and each other until next time. The energy you bring into the world is important, as is your health.